Welcome everyone to this webinar on Introduction to Institute of Marine Engineers of India. And with me, I'm Captain Gaurav Rana. I run Sea and Beyond. With me, I have our speakers, Mr. Rajeev Nair, who's the President of Institute of Marine Engineers India, Dr. Sanjeev Vakil, who's the Honorable Chairman of Chennai branch and the founder and CEO of HIMT, and Mr. Shailesh Desai, who is the member IMEI and alumnus of DMET 1979 to 83. Thank you to all the presenters, to our speakers, and of course to all the audience for taking out time over a weekend, missing your afternoon naps and coming over here. I appreciate that. The reason why we are doing this webinar. Now I go back to when I was sailing and when I was planning for a transition. And I was from a tier 2, tier 3 city. So where do I get information from? How do I progress my career? Where do I get the networking from? All those kind of things, at least I wasn't aware of. We kind of organically came to know about a few things, and that's how I came to know about a few professional bodies which help people within an industry in different ways. And of course, IMEI is one such body. So the reason for this webinar is that we are aware of the professional bodies which are available. We probably would have all heard of the professional bodies, but the benefits of them are probably still not clear to many. How, where can they help? It's not clear. So through this webinar, we try and answer these questions and directly from the people involved. And who better than Rajeev Nair sir to answer, to give us guidance on such kind of queries. That's the whole and sole purpose of this webinar. The webinar will so I'll just take you through the agenda. Right, the agenda would be, talk about the vision of IMEI, a broad overview of how it is governed, which all government bodies are partnered, the various chapters, how is IMEI helping the cause of seafarers, how can you become a member, the testimonials and the future plans of IMEI. So that's essentially what we are going to talk about in this particular webinar. And before we start, I will take a couple of polls from the audience. Right now, in terms of career progression, and purely on the career progression side, what do you guys feel are the key issues that seafarers face? The poll should be in front of your screen right now. The objective of the poll is to ensure that, when the speakers speak, they're aware of the mindset of the audience. They will be more specific about that. And of course, for us to, understand, all of us to understand, and I'll share the results of the poll with everyone. What do we feel as a community? All right. Been a minute. I'll request another 5 seconds and then I'll stop the poll. Great. I've got good results and sharing the results. Now, as per the audience, the key issues that a seafarer faces in terms of the career is the top is lack of networking. And second and third are fairly close, lack of awareness, lack of mentorship. And let me see if there's anything which is written on the chat window. Lack of commitment, Navdeep has written. Right. All right. So those are the issues which we feel the seafarers face. And at this point of time, let me take one more poll on what is your current role. And this is in effect an introduction of the audience. And this gives me an opportunity to introduce our first speaker, Mr. Rajeev Nair. Um, Sir is a fellow member and the current president of Institute of Marine Engineers of India. 1983 to 87 batch of DMET, he began his seafaring career with Great Eastern, rising to the rank of chief engineer before transitioning ashore in 1995. In 2000, he joined SR to lead the LNG project, subsequently taking key roles across technical operations, new building, sales and purchase, quality and safety, and ultimately heading their oil field business as a CEO. From 2020 November, he's established himself as an independent maritime consultant, leveraging his vast industry experience to provide expert guidance across the maritime and energy sectors. Thank you so much, Rajiv sir, for taking out time to present and speak at this webinar. And let me end this poll as an introduction, and I'm sharing the results of the audience right now. We've got 33% marine engineers who are settled ashore. We've got 30% audience as third and fourth engineer, then chief engineer, second engineer. Others are there who are probably not engineers, is what I would assume, who are also there, and then a few who are engine cadet. So that's the audience which we have right now. And thanks everyone for joining in. Rajiv sir, I'll have a few questions from you, please, to understand from you about more about IMEI. So, sir, if you could tell me a little bit more about IMEI, the purpose with which it was established, its vision and its mission, please.
Sure, thanks. And I would say first, Gaurav, don't thank me for being here. Incidentally, Shailesh is here with me, who will be speaking later in the day. And I am thankful for being given a platform in which I can share some of my thoughts about the Institute. And I consider all of you as further sort of ambassadors who are listening in, who can further disseminate this information. And primary objective is to be able to assist any marine engineer, any seafarer, if I could put it more broadly. And that is what drives us to contribute to Institute of Marine Engineers. Specifically, if I come, how it started was that originally used to have IMRS, and these are incidentally because I also joined in a way in 1987, so would be before my time as well. But what we have heard is that started as IMRS, and then the Indian Fraternity of Marine Engineers at that time felt that why not take this up in India. So actually, it became a society on 29th October 1977. And so in a couple of years, you should be celebrating 50 years of being a society. The first governing council of this institute was formed in 1980. And thereafter, it became a charitable organization on 31st May 1982. So that's the historical part. But it lays the foundation that we are a charitable organization, and that drives our mission and vision. So it is, I would say that we work in a way that whatever we get in the organization goes back to develop the organization. And the basic aim is that let it be a representative body of marine engineers, which has actually expanded quite a bit now over the last few years, and be able to have a voice as well as be a body which people are able to relate to. So if you in maritime industry want to know something technical, something even I would go beyond that. In today's world, really, it is more of techno-commercial. Is there a body which can give you insight into that? we would like to hear the name Institute of Marine Engineers. That is what drives us, and that is what we are trying to do. I hope that gives a bit of a direction onto what we are doing.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. I think that being having that vision, that one stop, one name which would drive people, or where people look up to if they need any support. I think that's a very that's an absolute great vision to have. So, sir, how do you go about fulfilling this vision, spreading the message, promote our fraternity? How do you go about doing that, sir?
Okay, Gaurav, I'll take this in two parts. One is give a brief on how we work so that, because sometimes it is important to understand how the organization works.
Right.
So we primarily have elections every 2 years. So we are democratically set up. In the elections, you have office bearers, which is the president, the vice president, and the honorary general secretary. We are structured through branches, and branches which have chapters. So we always have a governing council which oversees the functioning of the body. The office bearers are just the execution arm of that. So the office bearers are guided by the governing council, which has representation from all the branches. We have 8 branches, all the branches representation, and incidentally, because of the strength of Navi Mumbai chapter, a representation from there into the governing council, which based on the policies. So we primarily, all our programs are executed through the head office, whether at national or international level. Regional level, each branch takes care of its region and its chapter. And we also have a concept of subcommittees. What has happened is that national level activities or international level activities are not today zone restricted, especially with the easy communication and no need to travel and that way. So we have sort of formulated subcommittees to deal with it. Each subcommittee is headed by a person who is a governing council member and has his own team, and also has to ensure we all do this work on an honorary basis to ensure the continuity in each of these subcommittees. Our member secretaries are people who are on the rolls. So we continuously continue to develop the policies, move them along, and don't have a break in them because there is a continuity level. So that's how we operate, and we try to deliver to our membership, to the maritime fraternity, whatever we can do through the strength of our branches, our chapters, and through the subcommittees. This is how we in general operate. Most of us devote our time to this. So to us, the value which comes from the membership is for the time they devote to us. And that is what we are grateful for.
Well, that's great, sir. As you said, it's a honorary duty, um, and having so many committees, so many people, give that time, giving back to the industry in itself. It's a great thing, and I think that's how the industry develops. So great insight, sir. And so that was on the internal side of things. Now talking about externally. How would IMEI support or do we support the Indian administration, other government bodies in providing the ground realities, whatever issues or clarifications we need as a marine engineering fraternity? How do we do that? And if so, how, sir?
Oh, yes, definitely. Let's say today we basically, of course, the Director General has its own technical wing. It has its own structures, but we also have their shadow committees, especially for IMO work, or sometimes they are specific, like we are working on some offshore uh, gap analysis. So various committees are formed, and as IMEI, we nominate people to attend them, and that is where the time factor comes in. We devote time to that. I am quite proud of what our members are contributing in various shadow committees of the work which uh, DG Shipping is per se pursuing towards national legislations as well as IMO work. We have representation in IRS Technical Committee, IRS Classification Committee. We are representing in 3 of the sectional committees of BIS, where we quite often approach to our membership where expertise is needed, because sometimes they are trying to develop standards which are really requiring real expert advice. Based on various ISO standards, because that's an organization which has also started doing a lot of work in recent times. So we have our representation there. We are there with FICCI, SOChem to keep the industrial aspect also there. So various, incidentally with CMMI, we also created the Board of Examination Seafarers Trust. So it is not only the officer cadre we are looking at, that is a contribution we do towards the seafarers community where the ratings are evaluated. So that's another aspect we do. So it's a multiple area approach which we have. And primarily, just to share with you, if anybody has the time and willingness, we have laid down objects of our institute. And primarily earlier, these used to be technical. I think one of the thoughts which came as we developed over time into the increasing strength of the institute membership also, and also the what we learned in COVID, we have recently added certain human element aspects to that as well, because we see as a growing role not only being a pure technical body, but being as a sort of body which also is something which on a human element level membership, the maritime fraternity can associate with and considered it as a part of their uh, life in per se. So now we have those social elements also in our object, and we pursue all of them.
That's great, sir. Honestly, this is one perspective which, in my opinion, many people who are sailing may not be aware of. The consultation which the professional bodies do. This, which in effect brings an influence in policy making at a later stage as well. So that's great to know, sir. So this was more about on the Indian side of things. And just checking if on the international side of things also, do we have any representation, any sale like we have on the Indian side of things?
Yes, we do have one chapter at Singapore now, and we are in the process of at least adding 3 more international chapters. The only thing we have to be clear is, and I must at this stage say, if you really read the memorandum and articles of association, it's really a visionary document. At that time itself, it has allowed international presence to be there, subject to foreign currency regulations, etc. being. So it's really something which I think the generation which started this institute had a great vision, and we are doing that forward. So internationally also we do make our presence, and not only that, in international membership also, so it includes Colombo. So we are actively looking at Colombo, we are looking at UK. So those are also in process, and we hope to make an international mark, because visibility of IMEI members in various committees, the knowledge which they bring to the table is definitely recognized. Some of those who may be Bombay based may have been to the Green Shipping Conclave, which was the second edition, jointly organized with GG Shipping. The first was, of course, within Marco. The programs which we bring are international in nature. WMTC in Chennai was another international program. We should shortly be announcing our Cochin endeavor for next year. Kumasen, which will be there. So those programs we try to make. Having said that, it's certain specific ones we do look at international, but that does not dilute our approach towards the national part also, because that too also is equally important. So it's a combination of both which we carry forward, both at the national level as well as the international level.
Right, sir, understood. On another lighter note, sir, if we have a branch in Singapore, do we still call it Institute of Marine Engineers India Singapore branch, or does it change to Institute of Marine Engineers Singapore?
It is the Institute of Marine Engineers Singapore, a chapter under Institute of Marine Engineers India. So
Okay,
it's a chapter. It doesn't get a branch status.
right.
It does its activities. We have a MOU established. You won't believe the amount of legal inputs we have taken to do that.
I'm sure it will be, but it's nice, sir. It's great. So you have another professional body to look at if you are outside India as well. So
You see, I can add one benefit. A lot of people in their younger age do migrate to, let's say, Dubai, Singapore, Hong Kong, etc. But everybody's roots are finally mostly India. Some may take citizenship there, some may still come after the retirement and all back to India. So we are always there. Whether you are there as a chapter member overseas, when you come here, you automatically get transferred, attached to the branch here. And it's really a good forum to come back to, because like-minded, same field people are available to you irrespective. And it makes, I myself am going to be a senior citizen very shortly. It makes a lot of difference when you have that circle around you and you are able to communicate on common things. Possibly in a younger age, we don't realize the value of these safety nets. As you grow older, you start feeling the value they bring about. So by this dissemination, I would say uh, age irrespective, see the value throughout the lifespan, how it develops. And I'm sure you'll see the tremendous value which comes from organizations like ours.
absolutely, absolutely. So moving on, uh, can you talk about some of the research work which IMEA would have done? Research work, publications, training, we of course know, but and how does that contribute in the overall scheme of things?
Okay. Training, of course, just to share with you, last week, two of our new training centers both started their first course, Goa and Calcutta. So we have expanded from being Mumbai and Cochin to including Goa and Calcutta onto that. Hopefully, we are discussing something for Chennai, Vizag also. So hopefully that will be happening. On R&D, which something which was personally very close to my heart. And I've been in touch with IMU for quite some time on that. And I think last year we announced Junior Research Fellowship in collaboration with IMU. And I think the first project is being sent to us, where we will be sponsoring the JRF fellows for those projects. So that's how we contribute to R&D. We're starting in a small way, but I hope in future that and supporting entrepreneurship become a larger desk in IMEI activities also. But just to let you know, we have started and the first project on R&D is also starting. And believe me, we have a lot of people with a lot of knowledge here. All we require is a platform for sharing, because then knowledge will multiply.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. And I think when you said entrepreneurship, I think that's absolutely the need of the hour. And with people like you and very senior people, probably having an incubation center, advising people who want to get into entrepreneurship, that'll be a extremely, a great idea. Great, sir. I think you've already talked about the new initiatives in terms of the branches which you plan to open in terms of the international presence as well. Is there any other new initiative which you would like to talk about?
Actually, there is one, but I am keeping it a bit like announcement I hope to do in the next month, but it's towards welfare activities for the seafarers, especially looking at both our student membership and our senior membership. But till it doesn't get developed into a full package, I would uh, presently say, but we are working very aggressively on such project which we feel would be of value to all members, uh, and hope we should be able to give you another opportunity for us to be able to disseminate that information. But yes, we are working on certain projects which, and on technical front, we are trying to see if we can take measures to get our seafarers good knowledge about the forthcoming change towards zero net zero fuels. That will be a technological change. Before we know it, it will be something which the seafarers will see on board, because they are going to ships of various flags. And I'm sure dual fuel technologies are something. So along those lines, we have already started thinking of how we can be ahead of the curve, so that I know a lot of people ask, when will IMO give a training program on this, etc. Those will take their time. They have got their method. Like, it's not easy for 169 odd countries to come to a consensus fast. But at least if we see that happening in the industry, I think it is our responsibility. It's our duty to do work on that, collaborate with the people who are bringing that technology. And that is the second area of thrust, trying to take forward in the next few days, few weeks rather, to see if we can develop something on that. We do have, I think, a member who is going to receive some specialized training on that in China also shortly. And hopefully we will be able to, as I said, get one person with that knowledge and disseminate it to 10, and those 10 go on to another 10 each, and we try to remain ahead of the curve on that.
Awesome, sir. That'll be great. One final question to you, sir. The role of marine engineer has evolved over the years, and it'll probably keep on evolving as well. And now with technology, it will evolve at a much faster rate. Now, how do you see the new age marine engineer look like, please?
Okay. New age marine engineer. Number one, member of the Institute of Marine Engineers.
Absolutely.
Okay. I see a need for marine engineers to embrace new technologies very, very fast. In this age, the data and the speed at which data is being used is going to be tremendous. I think I was speaking to somebody, like, irrespective of what we do about climate change and moving towards net zero by 2050, the one common fact is the less fuel you use, the more efficient you are, the less you will pollute, irrespective of the fuel you use. So all this is going to get driven by a lot of technological changes. And those will also involve a lot of data, a lot of intelligence networks, industrial 4.0, if I can call it. Become aware of that. That is going to play a large role besides the fundamentals of engineering, the type of engine you're working on, the type of dual fuel technology you're working on, let it be methanol, ammonia, or anything. But those are also going to play a very large role. You would have people who would develop mechanisms, just-in-time arrivals, efficient routes, etc. And the seafarers will be expected to be able to be giving good inputs to that, because those programs' success will run on the people on board being aware of what they're trying to achieve. So knowledge-wise, the engineers would have to specifically upgrade not only to the technical background, but also these aspects. And just to share with you, one of the efforts which we have done combined with CMMI and our organization on the Union Maritime Union of India, MUI, is that we are trying to develop a library, e-library for all the seafarers, which is open to the members of each entity free of charge. So what we require input is what is the sort of material you want to read there. MUI has been very, very good in giving the financial support of that. We want to develop that as a basic, what should I call it, holder of a lot of knowledge which seafarers of the future will need to rely on. And for that, we require the input from the seafarers themselves. So the membership, the more it gives a feedback to us, the more we'll be able to develop these programs for them. And to answer your question in a sort of a more focused way, I see the future marine engineer to be a combination of electrical, mechanical, chemical, uh, know about uh, firefighting properties, etc., of various types of fuels which is going to use, health hazards, all the rules. And I hope it does not lead to also requiring to be a nuclear scientist, because that is also being talked of today. But a multi-talented person and with mass coming in, possibly a multiple role capability is the type of the future person you'll see. And we are there to help build that sort of competency. What we require is the membership to also give us what they need from us, and we will deliver.
Absolutely, sir. Great to hear from you. Great thoughts, and I'm glad you spend that time, telling more about IMEI vision and your thoughts on the new age marine engineer. Great. To all the audience, if you have any questions, you may write it down in the chat window. We'll take them in the end, and I'll moderate that session. At this stage, let me welcome Dr. Sanjeev Vakil over here. Dr. Sanjeev is the chairman of Admission and Membership Committee. He's a GC member of IMEI, and of course, we all know that he is a founder and CEO of HIMT Group of Institutes, India's largest maritime training institute. He's a marine engineering graduate, began his career in 91, became chief engineer, then established HIMT, which operates 5 campuses across Chennai and Vizag. He's the first marine engineer globally to receive a fellowship from the Nautical Institute, UK, and has won 25 plus national and international awards. A key figure in maritime education, we all know. He is actively involved in IMEI, MTG, and industry symposiums. His PhD research on maritime education and autonomous ships was confirmed in 2023 at IMU's convocation attended by the President of India. We're so fortunate to have you, Sanjeev sir, for this session. And if we may request you to, present a bit about membership. Now, how do we person can become a membership? What are the eligibility criterias? What are the different levels of membership? And the advantages of it. So, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Captain Gaurana. Thank you very much for this opportunity. And first of all, I'd like to thank for having this session. And of course, Mr. Rajeev has already given the reasons on why to have members. So I'll just take it forward from where he ended. So I'll just present some slide so that basically few clarifications, etc., could be there. So IMEI certainly it's one of the organizations where every engineer, I would say, every marine engineer is supposed to be probably a member. It's certainly a organization where right from the cadetship, people could join. Reason, again, though Mr. Rajeev did mention across, but I have just put across in some PowerPoint as to what the membership is and how to go it forward, right? So the membership objectives are this: to promote the scientific development of the marine engineers, to also enable the marine engineers to meet and correspond and to facilitate the interchange on the machinery space. We are speaking on lots of updates, what are happening across. It also helps in also collaborating with institutes, education institutes, universities. And of course, there are some social factors, as Mr. Rajeev did mention, something is coming up for sure. And right now we have something called the Benevolence Fund, which also helps all the members, currently our members. So, and overall, if you see the IMEI is what the organization chart or the onogram looks like. You have corporate members and non-corporate members, okay, right from the topmost being the fellow member, then a member, associate member. And of course, you have election every 2 years. The next election would be coming up soon, probably month of April, May, I think it should be out. And then by August, September, the new term will be taking across every 2 years. The GC members as well as each branch changes. In the branch level, you have the chairman, the vice chairman, honorary secretary, treasurer, and executive committee member. And of course, in the chapter also, you have something similar to that. Addition to that, okay, the national level, okay, you have the president, the vice president, and honorary general secretary. So these are the office bearers who are also in parallel with governing council members from various parts of it. And it's in fact national as of now, but then nationally. So the benefits of the membership certainly is number one, for sure the professional development of competency. That's the object. The main object has been that, and to do that, how to disseminate. One is the monthly technical journal, what is given across by IMEI. Earlier it was only technical, but now you also have technical and a social. Two magazines come out. It's also in the soft copy available on the website. It's been going to every members through emails. Every member could also just have an access to the website of IMEI. They can also get special discounts because IMEI also publishes a lot of books from various authors. And these books probably also can be bought at a discounted price by the members. They are certainly networking. I heard when you had put the poll in the beginning that networking. Yeah, networking is where 38% of them did mention, and it's a good platform where you see right from seniors to selling people to the cadets. All the generations are here, and this networking would help for even the senior to learn from the junior and the junior to learn from the senior. It's rather mentorship, which again IMEI in 2004 they brought this program of mentorship, and then it's continuing. It came out. So many other organizations are trying to speak on mentorship right now, but which IMEI has brought it long time back. It's 2 decades back they brought this particular part of it. Of course, when you say networking, you have technical seminars, various branches, chapters have physical, online, and of course, what you're doing today itself is something to update seafarers globally. It's not only restricted to a place, city, or a country, but globally members do join, means take part and try to upgrade themselves. And I'm sure that one more great looking forward for next Thursday, probably when you have on methanol, which IMEI is hosting across. So certainly it's a great learning for everybody, people who are assured and people who are wanting to have information, who are hungry of getting information. Okay, Benevolent Fund is something which, again, the family in distress, this is something which IMEI has brought in across for the families of those seafarers who are members. IMEI also has a fantastic digital library, which is available online to the members, to the students, to all those who are requiring that. So these are few of the benefits. The list is long, but I'll not go on speaking because Mr. Rajeev had covered many more things which are over and above that. So talking about membership, that's been the scope which you are giving me across. So let me speak on the membership as to what type of memberships are there. And the first thing, okay, you take any business card, any visiting card, people look for some titles. Doctor, captain, for chief engineers, of course, many of them don't write chief engineer, but then, okay, for them, okay, certainly these are few memberships which probably you could also use on your cards and everything when a person goes across, right from the honorary fellow members. So you can put FIMRE, members who are there, MIMRE. So these are all few. I'll go to the what each member and how to go up the ladder. That I'll just go across. But these are just a notation of what you could use on your any of the visiting cards as well. So talking about the eligibility criteria about this, to join as IMEI membership, there are, to become a fellow member, I'll go from the top to bottom. So a fellow member is something which a person could have various qualifications. He could hold an extra, he or she could hold an extra first class engineering, and then they're directly eligible to become a fellow. You can be from the naval, rear admiral, or IG. You can directly be eligible. The list is there. I'm not reading through everything. Okay, if you are a class 1 COC holder, 5 years after your COC, you can become member. If you're a class 2 or a class 3, then it requires 7 years. If you are a PhD in engineering and research in marine industry, it's 10 years. So these are various categories. This is readily available on the website as well, and I'll be sharing this. So you can disseminate to all the prospective seafarers who would like to become members of IMEI. So this is for the fellowship of IMEI. If you go next to the membership, a person could join as member also directly. He could be just 2 years as class 1, or he could be on class 2 as 5 years. So it's, as you keep going down, the number of years, if you see, reduces. The number of years, number of years increases. So you can just see what a level, to what level a person requires to join. So next is the eligibility criteria for the associate member. So associate member, any class 1, he gets a class 1, immediately he can become an associate member. He doesn't have to wait for the 2 years or 5 years as stated earlier for the fellowship. Similarly, class 4 with 5 years, he can become across a B. Also can become a gas engineer, electrical and electronic engineer. All of them can become. For associate membership, we have, again, directly eligible is class 2 itself is directly eligible for associate membership. Class 4, just 1 year of sea service after the COC, he or she can become the member. In fact, the new category of ETOs, just 2 years back, the IMEI brought in also the GC approved, and we have also ETOs. So even the ETO category also, they can also become now members. It can be from the college itself, from the pre-C level, or a person holding a COC. So, and for graduate membership, again, this is the criteria. So a person could become a graduate just after class 4 or diploma in any branch of engineering, especially the marine engineering, it's 2 years. And of course, the major chunk is the student membership. Okay, ladder climbing is fast, but then again, students, to get the base is very important. So every pre-C college, probably the cadets could become member at the time itself for entry. Once they join the college, whichever course, whether it's a BTech Marine Engineering or a GME course or the ETO, all these 3 courses, a cadet could become a direct member to IMEI. And I'll just go on the costing part also as to what the fee structure is going to be. The fee structure, basically, again, it's quite economical, easy to, for anybody to become a life member itself. If you see the fee structure which you are seeing across for a new applicant is just about 767, including the GST, means just 550 is entry fee and the processing. So any student member joining after the 12th or he can join the institute, and many institutes absorb this particular cost. Probably as a HIMT, we do that. Every student member who joins the college, we have them made members. Okay, it's not a big amount, so they can have access, as I told, of the library, student chapters. There's a lot of things. The takeaways are a lot for the students generally. So he or she can become a member directly. Majority of the institutes are doing it across today in India. As you see, as I go to the next slide, where I'll show you the number of members who are existing right now, you'll be able to appreciate that. So these are the fees which are applicable till the fellowship, till the fellow member, what fees a person would have to pay basically to join as IMEI member, including the life membership. You could see also the life membership from a graduate to a fellow directly is 8,378. That's the largest, and so a person could directly become with the conditions which I stated earlier. He or she could become directly to any category. They could jump across and go. So, yeah, this is a fellowship with the last, you see. So the procedure for becoming this, again, it's as we talk of ease of business, ease for everything, governance, right from the membership, which was cumbersome earlier, hard copy and all. Now today, things have become very simple. Go to the website of IMEI, and then there's a Google form there, fill it up across. And simple, just a photograph and your passport copy or COC copy is required. Just do it across. And I was just taking an update as on today, just before the meeting, as to how much time it could take. The membership process online has become so fast that we have records that it has been done on the same day. Same day you apply, and the same day you have the membership number done. Okay, otherwise, on average, I would say 3 days. Because the process is a seafarer applies it online, and he or she could propose 2 names, proposer and seconder. But if they don't have anybody, then IMEI themselves we have a system in place where one of the fellow member would propose and second it across. So that process could take 2 days. So, and if somebody gives with the proposer and seconder, then it could happen the same day. So 3 days on average, I would say. Under normal circumstances, okay, conditions do apply. At times it could go to a week also, but then it's so fast. I would say rather the membership process is so fast that you apply online and you get across the thing. You can just directly, the documents are this, which I've shared across, but then main the COC, and for those who are assured, you can have a letter from the employer, and that would be one more criteria required for them to justify as to how many years you have been assured. Right. So the website is there, the email ID is there, if any clarification are required across. So region-wise, if you say today, the student membership itself is 2023, it was 1,911, and in 2024, it's 3,796. I should thank the members, especially the subcommittee members as well, who have supported, and we have increased the student membership, which is just the pre-C colleges, the pre-C institutes and the colleges, all the cadets who are members are about 3,796 as on 2024 November. Total number of members, if you see, it's one of the largest, I would say, membership, technical membership, I'll say. Okay, I'll not compare with Institute of Engineers, but in terms of maritime, you see, Institute of Marine Engineers, it is 13,764. It's a larger number because certainly in the last few years, okay, 2021, okay, this is my second term as a chairman of subcommittee of membership and admission. When I took over in 21, it was 10,863, and this is the second term of 2 years where with the help of the committee members and other members of IMEI, other chairmen of various IMEI chapters and branches, we have almost 26.7% more in terms of membership, which is the figure of 13,764 as of November, and for sure, I think is going to increase further. So if you see how the distribution is for people who would think that, okay, we would like to have physical meets and how many we can go across. So physically, the number of members in Mumbai branch is around 2,417, and next comes the Chennai, 2,197. So various branches, chapters, 8 branches, 7 chapters, including one foreign chapter. if you see, it's total 30,764. This is a small breakup for people to understand how could they network. So it's not that they have to only do an online, but within their branch or state, you find so many members are there. It would be surprising. People would say we hardly have this many engineers or this many nautical officers, but then IMEI is able to today have this data because we have members in different parts. So as I did mention, there are totally 8 branches, 7 chapters, and of course, Singapore chapter is there. The UK, Colombo, etc., are coming across. As Mr. Rajeev did, Singapore chapter is already in place, but then UK, Colombo, they are in pipeline and should be in time coming across in full swing. So the members today, okay, as people could reach anybody, okay, you have everything flawless at IMEI through the website, but then if somebody needs to reach directly, this is the team of the membership committee who basically are actively involved in increase the membership. I should thank each one of them because a 27% increase in membership is just because of their support, including all the other IMEI chapters. That's it. So I would like to thank each one of you to give this opportunity, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for explaining the entire process in such a comprehensive manner and very lucid manner, and also, being transparent about, openly showing the number of members. The increase is amazing, right? So which essentially shows that the trust and the benefits that people are getting. That's the reason why the membership has increased. So great to hear, sir. And thank you for your time. And I see a few questions which have come on the chat window, but I'll take them in the end. In the meanwhile, I have Mr. Shailesh B. Desai, who's a alumnus of DMET, 79 to 83, and he began his career at sea, and then he transitioned ashore. He became an entrepreneur along with his 4 batchmates. He promoted CMET Engineering India Private Limited, a company which specializes into ship repairs, which has a strong focus on hydraulics, engines, auxiliary machinery, and maneuvering system. And I mean, he and his company are instrumental in delivering high quality engineering solutions to the maritime sector. And Shailesh sir has, of course, from being a marine engineer, he has seen the advantages, that IMEI has had in his career. And that's where I will request sir to probably speak a little bit more, what kind of benefits have you taken, have you got, and how would you recommend our fellow engineers to leverage IMEI? There are different ways of leveraging, and what's your take on it, sir? So over to you, Shailesh, sir.
Thank you, Gaurav. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is always an honor to address, marine engineers, especially because I think, we are one of the most versatile engineers here. Just as Gaurav has said, just to, add to the introduction, I started CMET with 3 other batchmates, 1979, 83 DMET pass out. And we started with a view to indigenize certain ship repairs which were being done only by people from outside India. We focused on hydraulics, cranes, steering systems, VRCS, deck machinery and all stuff like that, main engine maneuvering. We do all other engine repairs, auxiliary machines and all that. So over a period of time in the last 35 years, people tag us as experts. I personally believe there is nobody who's an expert in our line. Once you join a ship, you're anywhere, above a novice till the level of experts. But the reason, why I had to come back to the institute, we do major reactivation of ships, like the ships which have had major engine room fires, or, the entire cranes are, are down. So we undertake these kind of projects. And the best way I could bypass this work visa outside India. We did a project in Australia for 3 months, and this was on a ship which had an engine room fire. There is no way I will get a work visa outside India. So the best way is get your COC revalidated and join as ship staff. So I am, sailing as an engineer on board, but superintendent sort of, it's a dual kind of role. But it gives me an opportunity to work. And then we do take local labor, like we took a lot of Australians and reactivated that ship. So when I went to MMD to sort of revalidate my COC, and mine is a very old one because I had done in 1986. And the MMD said, no, you have to get your thing done again. You go to the institute and or anywhere and, just appear for the exams again. Somewhat reluctantly, I came back to institute. Of course, I have been, coming to the institute whenever I need technical help because we have a fantastic library and I sort of used to refer to that. But when I came here, I was very pleasantly surprised because now I was forced to sit in a classroom and I suddenly realized that, while industry is calling us experts, if I may use these words, the people here, you got experter and expertest people who are part of the faculty. So carefully and so selectively chosen, it's like an ensemble of stars, all stalwarts of the industry. It's an absolute delight to talk engineering with the kind of, faculty that we have here. And over and above my 35 years of experience, I really learned so much in the last 4 months, just, coming here and sort of, yeah, in a way, relearning. I think it does benefit any marine engineer to come back to the institute, gain the experience, of people who already have. Besides that, the institute arranges seminars from industry experts. We had people from Garware, nylon ropes, and lubrication people and all. Now, these are certain fields which normally we would not have any knowledge about. But when you attend those seminars, when you talk to the people, I think you suddenly realize that engineering can be so deep and so beautiful. You get goosebumps listening to the kind of the people here. So these industry experts are certainly something who add a lot of value to a average marine engineer who's in a glass wall with his ship and home and nothing else. I think with as Rajeev had just explained, the dynamics of shipping changing so much in terms of new fuel coming. I mean, who would have thought that we had ammonia as fuel when we joined ships? It was just cargo. But this sort of changes is something which today's engineers need to know, need to learn. There's a lot of learning that is required beyond college and beyond regular sailing. I think besides fuel, you have got so many compliances like EEDI, EXI, CII. All these things is something which you have to be abreast of. And when you are learning in an atmosphere which is so conducive, your brain is equipped with that, so that when you go on board, now you know how to handle. And new things, SIRE 2.0, especially right ship on bulk carriers and all. For a sailing guy, it will be so useful to be, one notch ahead of the surveyor or the inspector who's coming to inspect your ship. I think that is one of the primary benefits which a regular sailor will get, in spite of him having all the COCs and all these STC certificates that are issued. I think the things like compliance and for those who want to transition ashore, I think the place is phenomenal because you do get to meet a lot of people. You get to meet a lot of genuine industry people who are looking out for people who would like to, settle ashore. It is a big benefit. I think the other benefit that I thought here, you see, normally on board, we are sort of pitted against the deck side. So on board, you are not really, it's like a cat and mouse game. Sometimes you are wary of, what to ask him and what not to ask. But here we have got some very good master mariners with whom you can discuss freely in a classroom kind of environment. And that really, helps you because you're going to ask him questions which on board you would not have. And it adds to your knowledge. As Dr. Sanjeev just said, you take so much pride in, the doctors would say, I am an FRCS. I think I find it big, a sort of pride to say I am FI Murray. It's something which I could easily add on to my visiting card. There are multiple benefits. I would think that, not just cadets who are students for whom this will be a tremendous benefit. I think it is also a benefit for sailing, people, including chief engineers and superintendents, and I would think even CEOs, because you see, one of the faculty with whom we were interacting, they are representing. I mean, he is also on the board of one of the big corporate houses in India. And which ship to buy, which ship to not buy, considering that this engine is not going to last for more than so many years, so don't buy it. These are decisions which are, very big money decisions, but they are based on very, very sound technological factors, especially with the dynamics that shipping is going through. I would, not only just recommend, but because I am now so senior, I would strongly advise all of you to join, benefit like how I have benefited. And as Rajeev said, we have a beautiful library. It is something which is immensely useful, even for somebody like me who's 35 years in the industry. I find it useful. And, I think Ma Saraswati resides here in this institute. All of you can try and come and, benefit, gain the knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. That's very enlightening, and the way you said that, from your COC, how I helped, and the kind of people that you are interacting with, and different ways, different caliber, and also getting that corporate approach as well. So I'm sure a lot of people would be very excited about it, and they would probably like to take up the membership if they've not already done. Just to add to this is that I mean to someone who doesn't maybe is not so academically inclined or so, I think the networking part and that's where I have found a lot of benefit, right? When you talk to 100 other people, even if you don't have anything in mind, but just being in their company, just the networking, especially to people who have not transitioned ashore. What is the thought process of a fellow mariner who's transitioned ashore, and of course someone who's already transitioned, they are doing that. I think that's very, very useful. So thank you so much, sir, for explaining the benefits, first-hand benefits as well. So I think I'll open up for questions. We already have some questions which are there in the chat window, and I'll take that. But I'll take this opportunity of being the host to ask the first question, please. And that question is, can the Master Mariners be a member of IMEI? And I think I have 3 more Master Mariners over here in the webinar. I'm sure they would have the same query. Rajeev sir or Sanjeev sir, probably Sanjeev sir, yes, if you could answer that.
Yeah, Rajeev sir, or I could say as of now it's negative. It's the law, the rules which are there, it doesn't permit. It's only, as I mentioned, showed you across what categories, how much of experience, sea experience, as well as the show experience is there, is what it is. But then, okay, Mr. Rajeev would be able to throw if in future, if any honoraries. Yeah, I think Mr. Rajeev, if you would like to add on.
Actually, if you fulfill some of the criteria, we do have, as far as my knowledge goes, somebody who was an engineer and became a DevCo officer. He is a member there. So if you have those qualifications, yes, but purely on the basis of your chapter 2 qualifications, no. That's
I understand, sir, but I just had to ask the question because I see so many benefits. So,
but I would say that look forward to changes in chapter 7, polyvalency. Then we are talking a different thing going further down the line.
right, sir. Right. I understand. Sure, sir. I'll start taking questions which are on the chat window now. And I see the first question from Abu Bakr, and he's asking, he's a third engineer, and should he go for IMREST UK membership or IMEI membership? Which one is more relevant or beneficial for him?
Certainly, IMI membership, India, because yes, you get more connected. We gave the benefits. So again, you could become members for both. If you have deep pockets to pay the fees of UK, yes, you could do that as well. But then seeing the fees and the value for money, if you see, it's hardly anything. So IMI membership for sure, that's the base level to enter there. I would say rather enter here and then you can become anywhere, many membership, in fact, a person could become. Yeah.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. In fact, the question came at the start, and after seeing the webinar, I'm sure you would have already been convinced about being a member of IMEI. Mohit, so I think let me ask his question in a different way, sir. Now, to become a member, you'll have to have a proposer and a seconder, right? So, what is the logic behind it? Explain that, please. All right. Sorry, I'll repeat it. So, to become a member, you need a proposer and yes. So, if you can tell us the logic behind it and why is it required? That's from Mohit Madhav. Sanjeev sir.
Yeah. See, it's not anymore cumbersome. Initially, yes, as I did mention, a person had to go and see who is a member and then take a fellow membership signature. But today, if you have a proposer and seconder, it is fine. But even if a person doesn't, if a person doesn't have as well, not an issue. IMEI team would do it across. It is a procedural requirement as per the rules of IMEI. So we would again have one proposal, secondary internally. We'll do it across. So the process of having it earlier was something which we are maintaining across. But then any member who is applying need not worry. If he or she doesn't have any known person, yes, we at IMEI will do it across.
Absolutely, sir. And that's very well said. I think a lot of people just seeing those things and not finding anyone known may hesitate to apply. And that's where you said that even if you don't find anyone, just write an email. It's just now a matter of that a few words. I'm sure, as you mentioned, IMEI would support over there. Thank you for letting us know.
Sir, one
yes.
minute,
Please
Ramakrishnan.
go ahead, Ramakrishnan, sir.
Sorry, you can lower my hand. Good evening to all. I am an EC member of Chennai branch. I am Ramakrishnan, sailing from 89 from Babas and all. I have to thank Mrs. Geeta ma'am. So there is no difficulty. Just I give the phone number and the email ID. That is more than enough. And he's beautifully doing. And our membership drive is so beautifully run. Those days when Mr. Ganguly sir was there here, he gave me in MMD during the exam, chief's exam. He said, "Are you member?" So he gave me the application those days, and we have to get the signatures for many things. Now it is not at all cumbersome. Just contact any member also in the group also or whatever. But Geeta ma'am is doing a wonderful job. We have to thank on behalf of all the chapters. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Sir, Chandran Subramani has a request And I'm sure, Chandran, it's about a one-time life membership fees, which we will, there's an email ID which we've already mentioned. It's membership@imare.in. If you, and we'll also convey that request to IMEI as well, or you may write that email. So he had a request which is written in the chat window, but it's a request, so we will take it offline. Sir, Babul has a question in terms of the insurance, medical insurance for members. So, Sanjeev sir or Rajeev sir, if you would like to take that, please.
Yes, this is something which we are working on. I said we are working on a project which we want to benefit students as well as senior members. I do appreciate having been professional. Normally, when you're working with companies, you are adequately covered. If you are working on your own or post-retirement, these things are something which require planning and we are a developing country, so let us accept it that the facilities which we require we do require some sort of efforts. We are working on this, and hopefully it is in principle already a structure has been approved by the governing council. We are getting into the details of it because it has financial implications. It has financial implications on a recurring basis, and we must be sure that we are able to fulfill our financial commitments under this program year after year. So that is the sustainability we are working on right now. Once we are confident of that sustainability, it will be announced to the membership. Please keep in mind, I'm getting a very good opportunity, I think, to convey this across. All these schemes depend on participation. The higher the participation, the more the costing gets spread out, the more beneficial it becomes on membership. So even if at your age profile, if you are a youngster and covered very well, please see that this is something for the future. So please do participate when we do announce this scheme. Hopefully, I am set a very tight target of trying to do it within this financial year. But definitely, if not within this financial year, then within April, please do give us a positive feedback and participation on this scheme. We will be bringing it out.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for this advice. I have a question from Babul Dasgupta, and probably I'll ask Dr. Sanjeev this question. Babul is an associate member having 38 years of experience as electrical officer plus assistant technical manager and 9 years as faculty of a marine college. He's asking, is it possible for him to upgrade to becoming a member?
Thank you. Thank you for the question. And I believe probably an email also had been sent and we had replied. We'll probably again probably discuss this in the next GC meeting because as on date rules which permit for the transfership, it doesn't permit that I had shown you across. So to answer as on date, it is no, but then we are in discussion and brainstorming on this particular topic, and we'll see if any changes have to be done. But internally, right now, it is said that we retain what is given as per the procedure as on date, whatever it is.
Right, sir. Thanks. And noted. Chief Engineer Sethuram Ramanathan, sir. There are WhatsApp groups for each and every city for Institute of Marine Engineers of India. So if you want to be part of the WhatsApp group, and of course, if you're a member, then please write to the email ID which we had already provided to you. In membership@imare.in, and institute should be able to add you in one of the WhatsApp group. I'll move on to the question from Anuj Mane. And what would be the future scope of working ashore as vessel performance analyst? It's a little diversified question, but if I may ask Rajeev sir, would you want to take this question?
I'm not very sure of your qualification, but if you are a marine engineer, I am very sure that there are plenty of management companies, ownership companies who are using these sort of facilities, especially in the scenario where people are looking very carefully at what is the carbon cost. So, yes, I don't know the background. If you could send email across to president@imary.in with your background, I think I would be able to guide you on this. And, or at least I would be able to guide you to the place where you would be able to get a proper feedback on this.
Noted. Noted. Kostum Jambekar, I think your question has been answered. You don't, if you want to become a member, just send an email on the proposer seconder thing. I think that can be taken care of by IMEI. Sir, Harsimran Singh has a question on whether IMEI members have facilities like guest homes in various cities.
Not anymore. We used to have at Goa, but we do have a hostel facility at IMEI Nerul, which first priority we give to those who are attending courses out here. So IMEI Nerul does have that facility. For anybody who requires in Navi Mumbai. But as I said, there the priority is be given to those who are attending the courses here.
Understood, sir. Harsimran, your second question has been answered about WhatsApp group. Sudarshan, I'm sure your question has been taken up. Moving on to Surendra's question is that does IMEI, I mean, in the training institutes, is there a separate quota preference for IMEI member as such?
We give a discount to IMEI members.
Right. Absolutely.
So most welcome and like we try to accommodate everybody. So I'm sure you can find a suitable slot for yourself.
Sure. Right. I don't see any other question over here. And let me take one poll and see how attentive were people in this webinar. There's a question, as per you, how many branches does IMEI have? Let's see how many of you were attentive.
Exit exam still continues.
All right, I've got 56% of you have answered. Maybe a few more questions. Sorry, answers to the poll. 5 seconds and then I'll stop the poll. All right. I'm ending the poll and I'm sharing the results. And I'm sure all of you can see the results. 50% says between 5 and 15. Rajeev sir, if you may tell the right answer.
Eight branches.
8 branches. Right. So at least 50% were fairly attentive, yeah, but others may have joined before or after that slide. That's fine. Let me take my last couple of polls over here. And this is how many of you would like to become a member of IMEI? You probably are. If not, how many of you would want to? This you need more information. Put in a tab over there. You don't want to become a member, that's also fine. But if you could just put in, answer the polls, please. seeing good participation over here. I've got it. Almost 80% of you have answered. A few more answers, please. So to those who want to become a member, of course, IMEI would connect with you, and you may also, write to IMEI for becoming a member. 1 minute in the poll. I've ended the poll and I'm sharing the results. We already have about 60% who are members who have answered the poll, and 39% who want to become members. So that's great. And one final last poll in terms of feedback, please. So you came in this webinar with certain expectations. Were your expectations met? Was the session useful for you? And how would you rate this session, please? And we always yearn for improving ourselves. If there are any suggestions which you may want us to improve in terms of conducting the webinar, in terms of content within the webinar, please let us know. You may put it in the chat window or you may speak up as well. We'll be happy to know your thoughts and improve ourselves. I see there's one person who said not met. More than happy, sir, for you to speak up and let us know, or maybe write it down. We'll be happy to address your expectations. You see 67% of you who have voted. A few more votes, please. That will help us. All right. 1 minute in the poll. I'm ending the poll and sharing results. So I'm glad that most of you did find the session useful. You've rated us fairly high, 55% as excellent, and your expectations were mostly met or exceeded. So that's good to know. And finally, I missed to check on the people in the auditorium. Are there any questions from there? One final, or if anyone would like to speak from the auditorium, please.
There are no questions from auditorium, though we have about more than 50 candidates.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. Right, sir. Thanks, and I will wrap up this webinar. Thank you so much for all your time you guys have spent. It's a good 1.5 hours into the webinar. I think it was a great session. I don't think similar sessions have happened in the industry, but the importance of professional bodies in one's career progression, in holistic development of an individual, and more importantly, the upliftment of that particular fraternity, is immense, is absolutely immense. And most of the people over here involved in the professional bodies are or honorary basis. The intent is to give back to the industry and have the industry grow. So please participate, give your time in any which way. And I'm sure you will get much more than what time and efforts that you give within such professional bodies. So thank you so much, everyone. Last words from Dr. Sanjeev, Rajeev, sir, from you, and then we'll end it.
First of all, thank you, Gaurav, for organizing this very efficiently. Thank you very much. I would definitely want to know one person who felt the webinar we want to improve. Please give us the feedback. That is how we will improve ourselves. So please do share with us what you felt we could have done more, and we'll try to do that also. And I think I saw somewhere somebody asked what was the announcement. Well, you'll have to wait for the announcement, but it is linked to medical insurance cover for membership. So we are here to work for the industry, give back, and we want your support. That's all which I would like to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you from my end as well. Same to what Mr. Rajeev mentioned. Yeah, it's good to see the number of members increasing, and certainly we expect that the more and more, the more the merrier, and the more the interaction. And certainly India is shining, and the marine engineers from India are doing great. You could see right from the IGF to everything, the all the vessels. So we look forward for many such training. In fact, as I started with many initiatives IMEA is taking across, and it's certainly going to benefit each one of us. So thank you, members, for the support, and thank you, Captain Gaurav, for hosting this session, and of course on the helm of Mr. Rajeev Nair and Shailesh and all the members who are here. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Really appreciate all your time. Thank you. Appreciate it.